Let's go. Well, good evening, everybody. Coming to you from the NATS, Super 8. I am going to stay for the Worlds. Let me post the link to the chat. And that ain't it. Where did it go? See here, there it is. And post. All right, the link to the chat. Whatever. Link to the chat is in at the bench. And we're ready to go. Now, the most important thing that I want to take out of this NATS is if you look at the NATS top 20 today, Joe Gilbert was flying a Cavalier. And I thought he did better than he did, but they looked at the video and decided that he placed exactly where he was supposed to. Arestis won, as usual. They should just give him the trophy and let him keep it. And then, let me see. I might have this here. Let's see here, go home. I've got another takeaway that I want to talk about. Todd Lee was second. And not sure final results. There we are, right there. Okay. First was Orestes. Second was Todd Lee. Third was Dave Fitzgerald. Fourth was Derek Berry. And fifth was Paul Walker. Now, there's not many points separating first and fifth. Let me see here. I guess I can scroll it up. 1136 to 20 points. So that is quite a bit at the Nationals. But between first and second, there was 5 points, 5 and a third points. Between second and third, there was 2 points. And between third and fourth, there was 9 points. Is that right? 72. No, 15. No, that's 3. Yeah, 5 points. Or 10 points on the final. I was looking at the wrong score. So there was 10 points between third and fourth, and 5 points between first and third. So really close match. The wind, it seems like I never catch a break. I did fairly well on the first day myself. 504 wasn't good enough to be a barn burner, but it was a pretty decent flight. And then the wind started whipping, and nobody went up on the second round. So my first day would have been 504, but I scratched early on the second day because it was foggy. Now, let me turn down this air conditioner. I'm sure that it's making a lot of noise. There we go. I'm sure you know, it was foggy and windy, but then it cleared up. So you just don't know. We got 6 watching. And let me see here. Yeah, this is a little strange to run this chat from the motel room. But here I am nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed the footage. If you'd like to come in, the link is on At the Bench. I believe I got it up there. Let me look here. Go back, open. Here we go, At the Bench. And yep, it's there. One view. All right. One other announcement is Rich's Brew has come on board, and you'll find it below the last post, or you can go to Rich's Brew in the vendors section. Now, he doesn't have a secure server, so he can't take credit card orders over his website yet, but I talked to Randy today, and I'm going to straighten out his website, get him a SSL certificate, and get him some type of shopping cart going so that you can enter your credit card. And Rich's Brew is as good a fuel as any. I bought a couple of gallons. My haul for the meat is I got a roll of 1,000 foot of 15,000s from Melvin, some eyelets. I got 2 13.6 rev up carbon fiber props from Steve Wilk. I got a roll of tow from Howard Rush. I got a 65 pipe from Bob Hunt via Mike Lonke. I got a handful of trinkets from Jim Lee, which was a 1/4 inch center for the prop scribe and a 3/8 for the prop scribe. I got a 3/4 inch prop extension. I got 3 ball drivers, 2.5, a 3, and a 3/16. I got a wire bender, 2 gallons of fuel, 1022. What else did I get? I got 2 trophies, one for Pilot's Choice in N30, and I got a 3rd place. Robbed, but that's the way it goes. I think my nationals venture is going to be from now on just to go fly N30. There's no way I can compete against them guys that get to fly all year round. You know, when I get to put in 5 or 6 flights before the nationals, and they got 500 or 600 flights in. There's just no way. So we'll see. I got to try to cut somewhere. You know, every year I just keep throwing good money after bad. It's like throwing away the money. So, you guys got any topics you want to talk about? I'm watching the chat box here. It's up on the TV. I brought a HDMI cable so that I could run it on the TV. I will be doing opening ceremonies. I've got 5 days more left here. I don't think I'm going to make the flyouts. Hey, John. Let's see. John says, you really enjoyed the footage. Great. My junk is stuffed garage. I'm really bummed. I did not make it over, but work sucks, so I can get away. Dennis Holler. Okay, Dennis. Well, why doesn't somebody grab the link in Stunt Hangar and come on in and give me somebody to talk to? Because without me building or doing something, it's pretty hard to come up with a topic or anything. And I did cut out and made sure that we're up and running on a Friday here. You want to talk whatever you want to talk about, it don't matter. Let's see here. I don't know that I can share the screen of the NATS, my content, but let's see. We got a comment here in French, I think. So we'll copy and we want to translate. TRANS, translate, Google search. Paste. Okay. Vermet des Bro, I don't know how to say it in whatever language it is. French. Really great flights and a very, very good weather. Nice video. I met a guy from France today, Philip. He gave me a little tiny Eiffel Tower keychain. That was really nice of him. I talked to some people from Brazil and Australia. The Mongolians are here. They're flying very well. But they're all flying sharks. Everybody's got a shark. So I'd sure hate to see our NATS go that direction. Where all the airplanes are cookie cutter the same. It'd be like NASCAR. I got a hell of a sunburn, can't you tell? It was hot. It was hot. Let's see what this says here. Dennis Holler. Dennis is trying to get in, trying to get logged in on cooking some dinner too. All you got to do is click on the link in Stunt Hangar and let me see, maybe participants, maybe we'll copy the invite link. Let's see if it's different than the one that I put up. I don't think so though. Friday night hangout. We want to modify this. Of course, it could be. Nope, there's John Sukulak, so it worked. All right, John, where are you at?
Had to get back home, Sparky.
Yeah, you're at home now, huh? Let's see if it's different than the one that I put up. You got to turn off your YouTube channel, mute the audio. We want to modify this. I think you got it.
Get back home, Sparky.
Nope, you gotta shut off the video. You got a window open. It seems it's gone now. Are you there? Can you hear me, John?
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, you
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. I had to close that other window, but
Right. When you come on, everybody who's watching this, when you come on, make sure you don't have another YouTube window open with the stream going. Otherwise, it'll echo and reverb and all that stuff.
yeah, we had to leave. I had to leave on Wednesday, so we were there through Wednesday, and so having the footage that you did after that, so we could see the rest of it was really nice. Appreciate that.
I'm going to stream the opening ceremonies. I don't think I'll stream tomorrow because I think, well, unless it's the World Cup, I might stream the World Cup. And to be honest, I don't know what I can get away with because the FAI is kind of weird about that stuff. So we'll see.
Well, hey, I appreciate you that you're going to try it. I do have two questions for you tonight, Sparky.
Okay.
One is if you wouldn't mind a quick refresher on how to patch a tear in doped silk span. I normally use monocoat, but my son has an airplane that's silk span and he's got a little tear in it. I know you've shown that, but just a quick refresher on how to do that. And my second question is, now that you've been to the NATS and spent some time there, have you decided on what your next project will be?
Yeah, I have. It's going to be a piped Viper, and I might do it with a foam core.
Cool.
A really gutted foam core. Because I would like to make the front row, without spray shine, and
Yeah.
tough. It's tough to do without spray shine. I did it. I've only made the front row once without spray shine, and that was with my Monado. There's John Miller and Dennis Holler. Okay, let me explain how to fix that tear. Do not cut a hole out. Do not cut it away.
Okay.
Take a piece of silk span that's a ½ inch longer or maybe an inch longer than the tear and an inch wider than the tear. Is it a small tear or a large tear?
Yeah, small, maybe inch and a half.
All right. Cut this or tear the silk span 2½ inches long by inch and a half wide. Then
Okay.
I take Windex and I wet the silk. So I hold it up like this and I wet the silk span with Windex and I put it over the top of the tear and I pull it, try to get all the wrinkles out and get it laying down. And then clear dope over the top of it. Just keep clear dope, clear dope. It'll take 4 or 5 coats of dope thin 50/50. And then you're going to sand in between the coats after you get 4 or 5 coats on, and then float dope on top of it. And it's a trick, but you can make it disappear.
When do you start sanding? After which coat?
We got to have at least 3 on it. So
All right. Okay. And then
otherwise you're sanding through the paper.
So when you start to sand after you get 3 or 4 coats and you put that next coat on, you're going to sand it. What sandpaper do you use?
320 or 400, but you just want to sand it lightly.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not rubbing the piss out of it. And then
Okay.
add another coat. And pretty soon that silk span will melt together with the tear, the right or left hand side. So it's down like this and it'll melt together. And as that dries, it'll pull it all up level.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thanks.
It's not that difficult.
Thanks. Do you know, I think I read where 3 of the top 5 in expert were IC this year. Were those piped or not?
Well, Todd Lee was not piped. It was a muffler. Derek Berry was a piped. And of course, Dave Fitzgerald is piped. There was only 2 electrics in the top 20 or top 5 this year.
Yeah.
Paul
Right.
Walker and Orestes.
Right.
And the wind started going pretty good there at the end.
Okay.
I didn't re-watch those videos and I didn't shoot a video. I only live streamed it. So I hope I got it all in frame.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It really was very good. Really nothing to complain about.
Now I know on the top 20 day, the camera was going in and out of focus.
Yeah, some.
Nothing I can do. The bees were
Mm,
the camera's tracking, so when a bee comes by, it catches the movement and it focuses on the bee, and then when he goes away, it goes out. So
yeah, yeah, that was weird.
there was no bees today.
Most of it was in focus though.
Well, that's good. Plus, we're shooting into the sun. That was
Mhm.
not good today. But when the wind shifted and I went and stood up on the hill, I think you could probably get a better view of what was happening. But everybody listening out here that's got a complaint, I want you to stand, just take your phone and stand just like this for an hour. Just do it 15 minutes, see if you can do it.
No, no thanks.
John Miller, speak up.
Well, I was just waiting, I was thinking about Paige Peterson in advanced class. He's a local Utah boy. You know his story?
No.
He's an ex-combat flyer, quit flying about 25 years ago, went on with raising his family, his kids and all that stuff. Came back about 3 years ago. Rejoined the club. He's actually the editor for our local club up there at Salt Lake. Nobody flying combat around here. That's what he flew. So he's switched over to stunt. And this was his first NATS ever. And what did he do? Second place in advanced, something like that? Second or third.
I don't know. I don't follow the advance much.
Well, I do because that's what I fly. And plus, those boys at the NATS are flying against expert class. So, it it should be followed a little closer because those that are true advanced class flyers are flying against a potential handicap, flying against guys that are much better than they are. But they're doing pretty good. It's working. So let's leave it alone. I'm not suggesting change. But anyway, I'm real proud of Paige for his first ever NATS showing. I think if he keeps it up, he's gonna go far. I think he should have been in contention, probably was for rookie of the year because, a layoff that long and first NATS and only 3 years of back flying or 3 or 4 years of back flying. It's pretty darn good.
Rookie of the Year is only awarded to the open pilot who has never been in the top 20. The highest placing open pilot has never been in the top 20.
Huh. Well, that's all right.
Dennis Holler's having a hell of a time getting in.
Yeah, he is. He says trying to connect to audio.
Yeah. I'm running on Super 8 Wi-Fi. I'm not using my hotspot. Oh, we got some chatters here. Let's see what they have to say. I think Dennis is on here. Hi, Sparky. Our Wi-Fi is out, so I'll be watching tonight like provided. Nice coverage and video. Thanks. Hi, guys. Like provided. Join as soon as I can find my phone. That's Dennis. Roy Lane says, like given. Terry Forbes, great job. No need to defend yourself. Yeah. Well, one year I got so pissed they were giving me thumbs down. You know what? You guys get yourself here and do it yourself. I just quit.
Yeah. Yeah, if they don't like it, go do it.
So John, you were talking about Paige Peterson, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the final scores in advanced. He He finished second.
Yeah, what was his score?
His score was 1047.33. The winner was Richard Campbell at 1066.33.
So he was in less than 2 points.
Now, not 2 points. He was 1047 compared to 1066. So he was 19 points behind.
19 points behind.
19 points, yep. One maneuver.
One maneuver.
Less
Well, what was his best score for his for a particular?
Oh yeah, that's interesting. If you look at his trend, he was 508 in his first flight, but 539 in his second.
So he buckled down, or you got?
He did. He
something.
did. And now looking at the scores, pretty much all of them were quite a bit higher on the second flight. The conditions must have been different, or the judges were different.
Yeah.
Judge is different. Conditions got worse on the second round.
Yeah, he scored higher, and so did most of them on the second round.
Well, I think it's pretty good for a little country boy to get out there in his first NATS and do that well.
Do you think he's really enjoying stunt, or would he rather be back in combat?
I think if he had his druthers, he'd do both.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's enjoying stunt, but he's a very talented combat guy.
Well, they had the World Cup combat today over there.
He's probably overwatching it if he wasn't flying.
Does he have a red truck?
I can't tell you.
Because there was a stunt plane in a red truck over at combat today.
Could have been him. You know, he was a real talented combat, very, very dedicated to it. And like I say, Gordon's not flying combat anymore. He's hardly flying any stunt. And there's nobody else. Everybody that was flying combat has either died or moved on in our area. So he just doesn't have anybody to fly with against.
Now that Rich's Brew ad that I put in Stunt Hangar, he's got the Rich's Brew vendor section and an ad. You click on the ad, it takes him to a site, and I'm going to straighten that out. But I'm going to see if I can do the same thing that I did with Wick's Aircraft with him. But there's not a whole lot of profit in fuel.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Not for what he's selling it for.
Yeah, I noticed the ad. I thought that was kind of nice to have an ad for a guy that was supplying such a needed commodity.
Yeah, because you can't get it nowhere. But we did talk, and I said, well, what is the hazmat on that? He said, it's $50. So if you better not order 1 gallon, you better order a case or better.
Yeah.
Here's
See, Stuart's coming in.
Hey, Stuart. Wake up, Stuart.
Got your ears on, Stuart?
You guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can-
Are you back home?
Yeah, I just got home. Just had a shower and so just got back. The bus didn't make it.
No.
Bus we took down.
Yeah.
He went to fill, or he was going to go get some fuel, and he went to start it, and the stupid starter didn't work.
Oh,
So it's
no.
behind. So
Not
You're
even
back
when you
in
hit it with a
Canada?
hammer?
what's that?
Not
You're
even
back
when
in
you hit that
Canada?
starter with a hammer?
Oh, I don't know.
Sometimes that'll wake them up.
Well, he said you could smell a little smoke.
Ah,
Oh,
So I burnt the starter out.
Are you back in Canada, Stuart?
Yep. Yeah, I'm home.
Well, that was fast.
Yeah, actually it went pretty quick. So yeah, it was all right.
has he got it in being fixed? You're gonna have to go back and get it or
He's
something?
gonna have to go back and get it. I'm not sure how he's gonna go about it yet, but he might fly a guy down to fix it. He's got a
What'd you do,
plan.
hitchhike home?
You know, he had a car, he pulled up there, like
Oh.
so behind. So I'm glad we did because then we got home. So he's I think he's got the another starter kind of on the works already. So
Where's your airplanes?
my airplanes, well, they're one's home.
Okay.
So I still got something to fly.
They're taking a vacation and wherever the bus is, I take it.
Well, yeah, my cousin's retired too, so same here. So yeah, but it was fun time down there. I enjoyed that. Everything was good.
So you had a good time.
Yep. Yeah, you met so many people. Can't remember 90% of the names, of course, but yeah, watching the guys fly, like it's pretty amazing to see.
Got a
What?
question for you.
What's that?
Did you fly a Pathfinder?
No, that's the one that crashed.
Oh, no. How
So
many Pathfinders did you see down there?
oh, quite a few. There was a few there. I crashed that about 2 weeks or so before we left.
Oh,
So I flew the Twister, but it flew good. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's a good flying plane. So, yeah.
Did you watch my Viper fly an N30?
I saw you. I can't remember. I saw you fly some, but I think it was the N30. Yeah,
Over on the grass? Yeah.
yeah, in the grass. Yeah.
How did cousin Lynn do?
He
He
did.
didn't make the top 20.
Yeah, he didn't make the top 20.
Oh,
But
sad.
he flew good in the wind. I thought he did pretty good job of it, though.
I did too. I was impressed with him.
Yeah, I thought he did all right.
He beat me by 3 points on the first round.
Did he? It's pretty
Yeah.
close. So
But I'll get him next time.
yeah, you do that.
If I ever get to practice.
Stuart, I agree with you. It was a lot of fun, and one of my observations is the the Stunt Hangar forum and the Hangouts in the end make going to the NATS a lot more fun because now you know who some of the people are.
Oh yeah. I met a lot of people from Stunt Hangar and just
Yeah.
in general. And yeah, so that was neat. So but it just flew by. I don't know where the time went. It just like so
Yeah.
it's kind of stressful, I think, when you get there first time there. So but I got through it and worked out all right.
Did you get to see Banjock fly his jet?
No,
You would know if you did.
didn't hear it.
That's something you remember.
Is
Yeah.
that a jet stunner or
Yep.
yeah?
It's a
Yep.
giant jet, and yeah, he does a lot of the stunts with it. It's amazing.
Well, when you say that's not a pulse, is that the pulse? No, it wouldn't be the pulse jet.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know what kind of jet it is, but
It's a
he-
pulse jet.
he
Oh, is it?
flies part of the pattern with it.
Oh, really? Wow.
He's got to hang on to it with two hands.
Oh, I
And
can
it's
believe
loud as heck. It's a lot of fun to watch.
it. Yeah. I missed that one.
He always does that one evening, and so a bunch of people go back to see it, and he does it when it's starting to get dark.
Oh yeah.
You can
That
see
way it
it.
looks like a red streak going by.
Yeah, it does.
Did it glow?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I saw
It's
a
a little,
post.
actually, it's the first time you see it, it's almost a little scary. It's like, man, are those lines going to hold together?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a pulse jet. A guy my cousin flies, so he went to a little fly-in on a farmer's field somewhere, and he just lit the thing up, and it went glowing red. It was like and loud. It was
It's crazy.
so yeah. But seeing some of those top flyers fly, wow, it's just watching the final five there. Oof, that was something else.
Danny will be here tomorrow. like provided. Roy Lane, there was a video online with the flight, so you can, I don't know who took it, so we don't know where it is.
Yeah, it's probably on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook.
But you, if somebody does, I think you can see the flight.
Well, I've seen him do that at Brodak, and it's always a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I knew he was doing it, I probably would have gone over, but I didn't know about it.
Well, I've learned over the years that he does it. So whenever I see him, I ask him, okay, what night are you doing that? Because I don't want to miss it.
Amazing that thing flies fairly good.
Yeah, I know it.
Denny's home too.
Hey, Dennis.
Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Danny.
Got home actually almost 3 days ago, so Wednesday night. So
Oh,
I stayed too long as it was. So,
Well, how long's your drive, Danny?
oh
50.
man, no, it's an hour and 15 minutes. So it's even shorter than yours, John.
Oh yeah, mine's almost 4 hours.
Really? I didn't think it was that far. You're up around
Yeah.
Grand Rapids?
Yeah, Grand Rapids. Yep.
Okay.
3 hours and 45 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
I knew you weren't talking about my drive.
No, yours is a little longer than that.
Are you coming back, Dennis?
Not unless not if I get lucky. No. No, seriously, I'm all done down there and I can't get back for the Worlds or anything else. So
I'm staying 5 more days.
terrific. So you're going to stay at least into the start of the Worlds then, right? So
Yeah,
that's great. That's
I'll
great.
I'll get to see the opening ceremony.
You're gonna see 5 days. You're gonna stay and watch any flying on what, Tuesday, I think they start.
Let's see. So we got Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning is when I check out.
Okay, so you'll be able to see all day Tuesday then. So
Yeah,
well, one thing the long range forecast said they're gonna have much better winds than what we had, better weather overall. So they should have a good go of it.
now I could go to Jimmy Barnhole's house and stay with him for the rest of the worlds, but that's an hour and a half drive each way.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much.
Yeah. Well, you're not on a schedule, so maybe you can, you don't have to be there at 7 a.m. But
I have a
it
question.
is, yeah, I get you. That's 3 hours a day. That's what you're driving an SUV, right? So
Right.
that's half a tank every day.
I've got a question I've been pondering and wondering about. Christoph Holterman was flying. How'd he do?
I think he was like 17th or 18th in the final.
That's figure he's German, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
folding prop.
Very nice man.
Got a folding prop, a glider prop on his airplane.
Oh, really?
It works good.
I am so happy for him. The only place I would like to put a folding prop on a certain airplane, I'd like to build a wind flyer, and I want a folding prop so I can get a hand launch, get about a 15-second motor run, have it shut off, hold the prop back, and then wind fly until I get tired of flying. So
Mhm.
that's the only folding prop I want to use. So
Or
Hmm?
that's what they're for.
it's exactly right.
Yeah.
I figure getting a clean airplane, no landing gear, no prop or anything like that, it ought to be a heck of a wind flyer. So
Looks like you got a face sunburn just like I did.
I don't know. I think I do. I would remember I was wearing those big floppy hats all week too. So
Around your cheeks, you look like a raccoon, just like me.
Yes, indeed.
Mhm. Should have worn my glasses. No, it's great hanging out with folks like Stuart. You look like that doesn't look like your car in back of you there. So you
Well,
get home today?
it's
Oh
home.
my,
That's home.
that
just-
looks wonderful.
I need to talk my cousin into putting 2 circles out here.
That's it.
Props
That's
no
it.
much.
Is this heaven? No, it's Ontario. Huh. Oh, wrong movie.
Just get out the mower and mow a circle.
Yeah, mow the beans down. You wouldn't be impressed.
Well, what's the value of the beans that can grow within the circle, you know? Offer them that, say.
It's about
Can't be more than
$20,000 an acre to buy it,
How much?
Ah,
or around 20,000 an acre to buy land here. Around
Okay.
oh, geez.
How much to buy the crop?
the crop. Well, they make about, I think about $500 or $600 an acre.
Okay. And what's the circle take? About 2 acres?
No.
About
Circle
one.
take up about a half an acre, 3/4 of an acre.
Nah, I don't know about that because you need a little room to walk around and stuff like that.
I think
Well-
it's 200 by, it's an acre 200 by, I'm not sure, 200 by 400. I can't remember.
So you only
Nah,
need, you only need 150 foot by 150 foot.
Yeah, but then I gotta have some safety fence there. I don't want to hit the trees.
Well, at 5
it
acres,
looked like your trees were all 18 inches tall.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
Well,
that's
there's
just
a couple of
being.
big ones there.
Well, you go off the corner of that. So
Actually, it's pretty much open here.
yeah,
5
very
acres
nice,
is
very nice out there.
330 feet by 660. That's 5 acres, so 2.5 acres, of course, would be 330 by 330, so you ought to be able to get at least 2 circles on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say about an acre and a half for a decent circle.
Yeah, that's probably reasonable. So,
I'll just peel off 20 grand and say, here you go, I'm gonna cut a circle.
yeah,
Take it out of the small change jar.
as long as you guys come and cut it for me.
Well,
That's the key. That's the
Get a
biggie.
self-propelled
Nice.
mower.
Yeah,
That's
get one.
part of the fun. Get yourself
let
a
it-
zero-turn mower. They're a blast.
You can dance. You get those. They're like sweeping your house. They automatically just turn the thing on.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I
The
believe
robot-
they do have robot mowers now too.
Yeah,
So
That's right.
Yeah,
tell it where to mow and keep it charged up. Actually, no, when it runs out of charge, it'll drive itself back to the charger and park and then go back out. So
Here we go.
Just made it home. Annie, Jeff, and Chewy say like giving. Just made it in from the pool ahead of the lightning and rain.
oh boy,
who is
Wonder
that?
where they're at.
I'm not sure. Florida, I think.
Hmm.
Show you guys where I fly. There's my backyard. I don't know if you can see it.
That's all right. That's nice.
You fly in your backyard?
Yep, right there.
That's cool.
Fantastic.
Look at that.
Surrounded by trees, so you have to learn to deal with unexpected gusts.
Well, hey, you fly there, you can fly anywhere in the world.
You know what? I concluded that down at the NATS this year because it was windy and I was flying, but it was no problem because the wind was pretty consistent.
It's pretty straight, not
Here,
too much
when you're
tumbling or
flying,
anything else.
sometimes you get above the trees and your airplane just gets knocked around.
Yep, that's
You
exactly
don't
right.
know in what direction.
I like.
All I know is you guys wish you guys could have seen John's grandson fly. He flew in the basic flight thing, but I mean his body language and everything. What is he about? I don't think he could ride the roller coasters at the park. All right,
No,
I don't think he's tall enough for that. And his body language and everything like that says, "I am a stunt pilot." All right, it's
Loves
as
it.
simple as that. And
Yes.
he's there doing his maneuvers, and I think right at the end he had to do a loop, and he just stopped, planted his feet, did a perfect round loop, come right out where he started and everything like that. Said, "Okay, show me what you got. What else you want me to do?" Yeah,
You know,
made
she
a nice
gets- she
made some
is-
nice landings and stuff. Made you look good, John.
he gets drilled back there in that area I just showed you.
Yeah, yeah.
Get
Gordon's
Obviously,
making his
you're,
way
uh,
in.
you're teaching them the right way and stuff, and kudos to the coach. So
Well, now I
Gordon's
got my
making his
son
way
flying
in.
too with
I
that
guess he's
cardinal
having
pin.
camera problems.
Gordon's it, Gordon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gordon, can you hear us?
yes.
All righty.
turn
We
on your
can see your
camera.
name.
What?
Turn on your camera.
No, I didn't know it was off.
All right. Well, Sparky, that's not all bad, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm picking on you. Your friend Bart says hi. Spent quite a bit of time with him and Jim Rhodes this week.
Oh, you
Hey,
poor
how did
thing.
Jim's hand work out?
Yeah, I had get a big old band-aid to put John's finger back on. But
Yeah, that's what I heard.
yeah, he went. He said he felt it hit his thumb, but then I guess the back of his index finger must have hit the edge of the prop 3 times. Jing, 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 jing. And he come over to the over there to the table. I was running intermediate. He come over to our table. My God, he looked like somebody out of a Freddy Krueger Friday the 13th movie. I mean, and so we got him cleaned up. I've been carrying a first aid kit in my car. I've been carrying it there so long I kind of forgot about it. And I was like, oh my God, we got to find a Band-Aid. Oh wait, I got that, But not a good thing in there. My wife had given it some TLC too. She's a nurse and she had bulked it up a little bit. So we had some the best thing we had in there was some peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. I just sprayed his hand probably 4 times with that. And I think we got the bad stuff off his finger that way. So when we bandaged it up, it was later on, he said during the week, it didn't give much trouble. The only thing that bothered him was it clipped the corner of his thumb. Didn't even cut it or anything like that. But he said that was sore. So like hit his thumbnail. And said that was sore. But other than that,
Should have sealed them up with CA.
Yep.
didn't have any. Besides, that stuff's expensive. Oh, sorry.
Gordon, I gave Bart a P-51 kit.
Why?
He
What kind of
wanted
51? What kind of kit? What kind of
Al Raid.
P-51?
an
Oh,
Raid P-51.
all right.
I gave him the spinner. I got it from Mark. And Mark said he'd give it to me at Brodax. And I could just see Bart drooling over this kit. And he really wanted it. He said one of his things in life that he wanted to build. I said, well, I want to build it. And I got to think, I got so many damn projects. Okay, Bart, you can have it. Take it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he
Well,
won't. He won't build it though.
He'll have you build it.
What's that?
He'll have you build it.
Well, we built a couple of his Pathfinders for him here at my house. And they're all together and covered, ready to go when he goes home.
You won't do a P-51 in a weekend.
Well, he bought 2 badass electric motors. And I asked him why.
Yeah,
I could see the writing on the wall, Gordy.
Well, he made a promise to me, and I'm going to make him stick to it. He crashed that big twin that he built like mine. And he promised me before he built another airplane, he would have it up and flying. Well, it's all repaired and doped. Needs a paint job. So I'm not going to let him build anything until he finishes it.
Yeah, but he'll probably ask you to paint it. So.
Well, that's probably true.
No probable about it.
Yeah.
I don't know,
So,
man. I don't know, Gordy. I don't know if you're getting sounds to me like you're getting the short end of that deal too. So.
Oh yeah.
That's all right. Bart's good people.
Still can't get my picture up though, Denny.
Yeah, I know. Can't imagine why.
Go down to the left-hand corner where it says audio video. And there's a little up arrow. Click the up arrow. and then it'll select the camera, Alt N. Or what it says Alt N to switch, but all you have to do is click on it. And if
Yeah, click, yeah, absolutely.
and if you can't, if it doesn't open up, click on a different camera and then hit apply or whatever, and then come back and do it again and click on the camera that you're using.
Yeah, on my screen, looking at it here, and my camera is right smack on the top line. And then I got things like blur my background and choose backgrounds. That's all, just visual effects. But that first line should be, my camera says HP True Vision because I have an HP laptop. So it may be the same name as your computer or something like that.
See, I'm in the woods now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in a cornfield.
I'm in
Yeah.
a fog.
Now I'm going to go to Hawaii.
Mhm.
We're going to go on the moon.
How's the lift there?
How about that? How about a Gordy and John background?
Ah, Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah. The single and the half A. So whatever.
I
I
know
like the way
Happy
it kind of messes me. Of course, that's probably a good thing, but
it's having trouble distinguishing where your headphones end and your head.
yeah, that's it. And it moves around some too. So
Yeah.
don't know. So Gordy, still no luck?
No, my top line doesn't say the same thing yours does for some reason.
What's your top line say?
It says select a microphone.
No, you're on the wrong one.
You went to audio, you got to go to video.
You see one that says, in fact, I think it on my screen, it says stop video, but there's a little camera icon there. And it's got a little arrow that's pointing straight up. Click on that arrow.
Well, I clicked on the arrow at the bottom and start at the top. It says microphone.
Okay, go to the next icon after that to the right of stop video, to the right of the camera. Click on that arrow. And
I only have one arrow there, Dennis.
do you see something called stop video? Just, I mean, not on clicking anything. Do you see something called stop video? Should be the second one. On mine, it's the second one from the left.
You notice
Uh-oh.
I went home.
On mine, it's at the bottom.
Yes.
On the bottom left, all the way to the left, it says mute. And then the second one is stop video. And he doesn't have the stop video click because that would show up, right? That would show up as a red mark.
Well, it's got
Yeah.
an X through the. I can't get it to delete the X. It's got a red line through the video.
Click on it.
Just click on it. Usually that's enough to turn it back on.
I'm clicking on it many, many times.
All right.
And it will
Unplug
not
the camera and plug it back in. Can you do that?
do what?
Can you unplug the camera or is it on the computer?
Is it built in?
No, well, it's plugged into the back. My camera is plugged into the back of the computer.
Okay, just make sure it's plugged in. Maybe
Unplug it and plug it back in. The computer will recognize it and bring it up.
yeah.
If not, log off and log back on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that might be easier. I'll do that.
Okay.
See you in a minute. Meanwhile, I want to watch the Olympics on John's screen here. See the Olympics back over his shoulder there?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm out on the porch. That's inside.
Mm-hmm.
You see that I went home from the motel room here.
Yeah. Very good. That looks like your regular show. Blue Viper in the background.
That's it.
Like just like Captain Kirk, you beamed yourself home.
Yep.
Mhm. Oh, that'd be that easy.
Yeah.
So how many of these guys flying in the worlds from other countries build their own airplanes?
About 3 of them.
Not many?
Not many. You're gonna see yet Cinco's out the wazoo.
And do those all come from the same builder?
Well,
Yuri Cinco.
I think Sparky's being a little harsh on that, but you know, a lot of the top flyers are flying. If you see a Shark that came from one place, all right, and if you see an Axioma or something like any of the moldy airplanes, I mean, think about it. The investment of time and effort in those molds and stuff like that. Not everybody's going to do it, and whoever made it, they're selling the airplanes. All right.
Mhm. Yeah.
There are a few there. I did see a few wooden airplanes. I don't know. Christoph's airplane was unusual. I think that was a one of a kind built one. But I don't know. We were sitting there, you know, before appearance judging. There's a lineup of airplanes there. We are just sitting there watching and stuff. And I looked over and says, "Gosh, I never knew there were so many build-it-yourself shark kits out there." And oh, hey, look who's back!
He did it.
Gotta turn your microphone on, Gordon.
Uh,
You gotta
Yeah.
turn your mic on, Gordy. You're muted. There you go.
Boom.
Thank you, guys.
Ta-da.
Well, hey, I'm
Ta-da.
glad you're on now. That's a sharp shirt.
What's that?
I like
You like
your
my-
shirt. That's PTG, isn't it?
It
That's good.
is. Phil and I
Diva?
we were very good friends.
I'll bet. You probably knew him back when he was flying combat and everything like that, didn't you?
Through combat and also through stunt. And he used to call me once in a while, and I'd call him, and really miss the guy.
Dennis is at Rodax with that goofy airplane that goes backwards.
I've been working cleaning engines for 2 days now. Crock potting them, clean them out, soaking them in kerosene. The whole house smells like kerosene now. Roger come out and he went to hand me something and hit the bowl and knocked the kerosene all over the carpet.
Oh,
I just-
boy.
Well, it wasn't good carpet. It was just a
Well,
line.
it isn't now.
Even then it wasn't. So I just rolled it up, took it out and threw it in the trash.
All right.
Opened the window and had the fans going for a couple hours. But I got all these engines. A friend of mine passed away, and his wife says, "Just come and get them." And there were so many in the box, I could not lift the box off the floor. She had to help
Wow.
me lift it in my van.
Wow.
So, and he had some good engines and used engines and worn out engines.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I guess I'm going to put them up for sale.
Yeah.
They still got 3 left, but they're great big monster 4-strokes, 120s.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Get some. You ever disassemble a 4-stroke?
just on my Sato. These
Okay.
here I'm a little nervous
So
about.
you've been there.
Yeah.
4-strokes that got pieces you don't expect and things you don't expect, and yeah,
Plus, you got to get the cam in right.
that's kind of important.
It is.
Banjock's ended up buying a 91 this trip. He's gonna build some kind of big something or other.
Who is Dan?
Yeah,
Danny.
Dan Banjock. That 91 is a weed eater engine.
Oh, that's a hand eater.
Nah,
Oh, and especially the 120.
not like Jim Rhodes' PA-51 was. He showed up and he said he was having trouble with his engine, and Vince Bodie on the spot loaned him a PA-51 that Vince, load time, it's his backup engine. So Jim put it in his airplane and it still didn't run right.
So it's gotta
You
be a
know,
tank.
He's got his problem isn't with the engine. He's got something seriously wrong in his fuel system somewhere.
well,
Could be the fuel itself. I don't know, but
2 weeks ago, he brought his gas tank out. He had the back plate off, and I looked it over, and it's plumbed exactly the way I would have plumbed one. So I put the back plate and started it up for him. The next day, we're at the field, and he's still having problems. So I'm making these suggestions. And when everybody's getting ready to leave, he kind of leaned down and just started screaming at me, a foot away from my face, and taking his finger like he's going to poke me in the chest. And
oh
he
boy.
says, "You're not my mother." And I'm going,
Hmm.
"What's he talking about?" You know, I'm just making suggestions, and I just got up, folded my chair, and walked over and got in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pressure test that tank? Cause if it's got a small leak in it, you know, grab air.
Yep, we found a little pinhole up in the front, and I soldered that up, and then we pressure tested again, and it holds a lot of pressure underwater with no bubbles.
Well, the next
So-
week, look, is the fuel.
Well, yeah. And after what happened a couple weeks ago, I'm done with him. This is not the first time he's done that. To me, that's very disrespectful. You know, I've known him since I was 13 years old. And it's happened more than once, and I'm just getting tired of it. It sounds like a one-sided friendship to me.
Oh, I don't know. The other thing is that, as sad as it sounds, we probably tend to get a little more, we're more likely to unload on somebody we know than somebody we don't know. And maybe part of the reason he feels he can talk is he's venting his frustrations. Gordy, you know that. He's frustrated as heck. He's been fighting that thing. It didn't work in Tucson for him either. He's been fighting it for at least that long, and maybe must be before that. And he's got to be pretty fed up with the whole thing right now.
So, how many
Yeah.
friends you park a car in front of my dad's house that he's renting so he could park in the garage? And I pulled the engine of my '59 Bonneville.
Hmm.
He called the police and had it impounded.
Hmm.
That's what kind of friend he is.
Oh, geez.
So, this Pontiac had power steering, power brakes, power windows, power antenna, in triple tone interior. The car was immaculate. And my cousin wanted the engine that I put in there. It was a 426 Pontiac. Finally talked me into it, and I pulled the engine out, put it in as a 64 GTO. And Jim, the deal was, my dad says, I don't own the garage. Because you're Gordon's friends, I'll let you use it in case Gordy or I need it. You'll have to park outside. And he says, that's fine. And so I just pushed it down the street just so he could park his car in the garage. I come by a couple of days later, my car's gone. Well, with 5 kids, I can afford to pay it to get out of the impound lot. So it was gone.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So, here's been what? Known him for almost, 58 years? And I'm tired of it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Hey, Gordy,
I'm not going to deal with it anymore.
Gordy,
Yes, sir.
did you hear how Paige did?
Yeah, he got second and a third.
Second in advance. This is his first NATS. I'm real proud of the boy.
Yep, he got second in advanced and third in classic.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good week's work.
yeah.
So he did good. Dennis, he was my old combat bud.
Yeah, I was telling the guys out, nobody else, around here flies combat anymore, so he's kind of switched over to stunt.
Well, he got shipped back from, from Procter and Gamble, and I just happened to see his name on one of the Facebook deals. And I thought, I wonder if that's Page. So I called, and sure enough, it was Page. And he had moved just around the point of the mountain, and he hadn't unpacked his combat stuff since they moved from Salt Lake.
Really? So for all those years, it was packed up.
Yeah, they're still packed up.
Wow.
And then when we tried to get him into stunt, he says, well, I'm not going to mess around with IC motors. I'm going to jump right into electric. So,
You ever get his twin done?
good what?
His twin Pathfinder?
My twin Pathfinder?
Yeah, he got the plans from me. I wonder if he ever got it done.
Who?
Page.
He got the plans for the twin Pathfinder?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, obviously then he didn't get it done.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's Matt Newman was giving away a bunch of plans. He's been going through his dad's stuff, and some of the plans were saleable and stuff. He got a lot of them that were either really, really old or, decrepit or something like that. He was giving away a bunch of plans. He gave away a bunch of empty engine boxes too. But yeah, I scored about 4 or 5 different plans that looked interesting. Can't say I'll build any of them, but I just like having them. So
Yeah.
but one of the ones I really like, near and dear to your heart, I think, is a Frank Warburton Tony from 65, 66, something like that.
Yep.
I just
That was
remember the magazine article, that airplane, diving, like a great big photo of the airplane kind of diving out of a maneuver and stuff. I always thought that was one of the best presentations I'd ever seen in a magazine.
That was my first Tony build.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, how did it fly anyway? It looks like it should fly well.
It flew quite well, but I never put aluminum pads on it. And then it kind of turned into a pumpkin, and I let Phil Granderson fly it at VFC because he didn't have an airplane. And he came back and says, Gordy, I can't fly this airplane. He says, this has got to be the worst stunt ship I've ever flown in my life.
Man.
He says, I have a lot more respect for your flying ability.
Oh, boy.
Well, I found the problem and made some shims so it would bring the spinner back to where it was supposed to be, and now it flies fine. And one of the major contests down in San Diego, I got 39 appearance points out of 40.
Really? Not bad.
Didn't you win a scale contest with that once?
What's that?
Didn't you win a scale contest with that one time?
No, I was second.
Oh.
And I went up the next year, and they said, don't even bother entering that sucker. Everybody was pissed off in the scale. And the reason I scored second, it was standoff scale. And I had the brochures and the plans for it there. And they couldn't get within, I can't remember. Do you remember, Danny, is it 10 feet or 6 feet of the airplane?
Yeah, I think it's like 10 feet. Is it on a table or sitting on the floor? I think usually you set them on the table, don't they?
These were just sitting on the ground.
Yeah, okay.
But, they could see it wasn't scale because the wing was a lot wider at the tip.
Yeah, right.
But it had a nice paint job like the scale one. And the reason I scored high is because I did all the maneuvers they allowed in scale. And they says, well, you got to do a touch and go. And I said, I'll give you a touch and go. So I went off on the fat side and did several touch and goes, run around the circle on the wheels.
Mm-hmm.
And still had enough power to go through the maneuvers they had. So the flying part, I got real high score. Then the next year, they said, don't even bother entering. But I entered anyway, and I was last place.
They'll
Gee, I
show
wonder why. Don't enter last. Geez.
Yeah, they
fly
want
that-
I can't, I can't even understand why they would do that to you. It's like, oh, everybody's got the same rules, right? Everybody's has some criteria for, for appearance,
Right.
and everything like that. Everybody's got the same, book of maneuvers and everything like that. You happen to do it
fly
with a
that-
stud plane. What the hell do they care?
You can fly that in fun scale.
Yeah. Well, I got
Yeah.
one of the Jack Sheiks designed an airplane called the Miles Speed 6 for fun. It's a Brodak kit for fun scale. And it's got a big fat symmetrical airfoil. It's got a 22% tail and everything like that. Looks to me like that thing could fly stunts, man. I know mine is going to.
I'd like to have the Tony I got now and enter that scale up there. And
Oh yeah, they'd really love you for that, wouldn't they? On top of
Yeah.
everything else, it's big and gorgeous. 10
Yeah,
feet away, it's going to look a lot closer.
oh, it'd be a lot closer in a Warbird.
Yeah.
The fuselage is within 2% of being actual scale.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I was surprised looking the plans over. I didn't remember, I've only ever looked at the magazine article, but I didn't remember that the Warburton had got a beautiful fuselage on it. It's a nice wide, well-rounded. It's
Yeah.
I thought it was like a stunt plane fuselage, slab sided and, but no, that thing's the real deal.
Yeah, I had a little problem trying to make those doublers in that curve,
Mm-hmm.
because they're not flat sides on the Warburton,
Right.
and neither is my Big Tony.
With your big Tony's got that inner brace up the front because you're going to put that big old thumping Sato in there, and so the outside is balsa wood, but the inside portion is the part that's got the doublers in it.
Yeah,
that
we
was good.
You remember we had a double wall?
Yep,
The inside was for the engine, the outside was for the scale part.
yep.
Hmm.
It's a wide body fuselage, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, I
thing
know
was-
it's a sleek fighter and everything like that, designed for minimum around the motor and stuff. But when you scale, even at stunt plane scale, it gets fat. So
well,
Yeah.
like Gordy said, that fuselage was within just a few percentage points of true scale,
mm,
and that's off the 3 view. And the only things that were out of scale was the wings and the stab and elevator. Did we
Well,
make the rudder on that a little bigger too, Gordy? Do you remember?
No, the rudder was scale.
Yeah.
well, one thing I learned that Al Rabe said he had done, he wasn't putting stab and elevator wasn't as big as a normal stunt plane, but they were bigger than scale compared to the rest of the airplane. And what he would do is if he made the tail a few percent bigger, he would also make the fin and rudder that same few percent bigger, so that the fin and the rudder were in the same scale as the horizontal tail. And then the horizontal tail didn't look so big because it looked like the right proportions to the stuff around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was a slick trick. So
Well, it was so long ago. I thought that's what we did, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Gordy was telling me what to do.
the I know I did that same trick. I did an RC. It's actually a half A Texaco scale of an airplane, and I scaled the horizontal and vertical tail together, and it really looked nice. So
Can I tell you a little story about Al Raby?
I don't think we can stop you. So
Well, you can. You say
no,
no.
come on, tell us what you got.
Okay. My buddy Jim Womack and I was over flying combat at the park, and my wife comes over. She says, some guy wanted to talk to you. He's from Texas. And Jim Womack turned around and said, yeah, it's probably Al Raby wanting to know how to make a 60-ounce Tony fly. And we just laughed. And she says, well, he's going to call back at 3:00. So we packed up. Anyway, he called me at home and he says, Gordon, this is Al Raby. And I said, no, this is Riley Wooten. He says, no. He says, no, this really is Al Raby. And I said, this really is Riley Wooten.
Oh, jeez.
And he says, I says, why would somebody like Al Raby call him a peon in Utah? And it was about my twin.
Oh boy.
And he says, I got to fly down to Salt Lake next week, and I'd like to come and see it. So I picked him up at the airport, and we was going to go flying, and the weather, storm, and wind. There's no way we was taking it outside. But anyway, I set it up in my shop, and he took some pictures of it. And he brought pictures, gave me some real nice 8x10 black and white of his Sea Fury and his Mosquito and his Mustang, and thought that was pretty nice of him.
Yeah,
That is nice. He was he looking for help on his not
Mosquito.
Mosquito, Sea Hornet? He was doing a
Yeah.
de Havilland Hornet. Looks like a Mosquito, only sleeker.
Yeah. You know, he said he'd heard a lot about it, and he's trying to figure out what kind of moments, I guess, to put on his.
Mm.
did he ever finish that Sea Hornet? Is that the one?
No, the thing was, I think, framed up, and I guess it got to as far as paint. I've heard that the thing is still around. Frank McMillan had it, but it's the control surfaces are badly warped and stuff. He was going to have to do some serious rebuilding on it. But as near as I know, I'm pretty sure he never actually flew it. So he had a lot of things on it that sounded pretty controversial. Like he was going to somehow he figured out he was going to extend, he had retracting gear on it, and he was going to extend the gear by whipping the thing up and doing a hard loop at the end or something like. And he was going to basically use a shutoff loop to retract or to extend his landing gear.
Wow.
That sounded crazy, but the way he was, he'd probably find a way to make it work. So
Yeah. My original twin had retracts in it, and we got it painted and headed to Buckeye, and I forgot and left my spinner back plates on the kitchen table.
oh, good.
And we got down to Buckeye, and where's my back plates? So I think Bart had one, and I walked clear across the field, ended up in the RC field, and somebody in the RC field had one. So I was able to put my spinners on. And we hadn't tried the retracts. And after everybody left, we went ahead and fired it up and pulled the pin, took off, the gear retracted beautiful, and went through the pattern. And like about halfway through, I called Jim Rhodes out. You got to come out and fly this. So he took it, and I went in and watched. And pretty soon, one engine shuts off. The gear's still up. The other engine shuts off. The gear's still up. So he starts whipping. We was on some real rough asphalt. And he whipped it and whipped it and whipped it. And he says, Gordy, if you don't want me to land this on that 80 grit sandpaper, you better get out in the circle. So I ran out and he whipped it up and climbed with it. And I took the handle and picked up the recovery. And I whipped as far as I could. Finally, I says, I can't whip it any longer. So I set for the approach, and all of a sudden you hear the gear go, and the gear came down before I touched the ground. So
that was like having your own exercise bicycle or something like that, right? Just kept you whipping and working out until you got it down. Hey, I got to leave you guys alone for a little bit. I'm gonna be back in a little. Sparky, how long do you figure on till handing off?
9 o'clock.
It's already 9 o'clock.
8, well,
10, okay, about 10 o'clock then. All right, I'll
Well,
try to be back by then, but we'll see.
When
It's
you get
another
back up, I'll tell
My
you.
wife's
40
been
minutes.
gone all day. She just got back, so I'm gonna go check in with her. So
It's 40 minutes
40
more.
minutes. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Gotta
Okay.
leave.
When
Yeah,
you get back, Gordon, I'm gonna tell them the story about you wind flying your Gemini at the 95 NATS.
oh, yeah, that was fun. Oh, you want me to tell it, or are you going to tell it?
Well, you can tell it. You were there.
Yeah, well, I got off, set the wrong engine richer, and it cut off, so I had to bail out halfway through the pattern. And at the end, it quit, and the wind was really blowing, so I started doing some loops and figure eights with it. And finally, one of the judges says, "Get out of the circle." So I went ahead and finished it with a square loop, and then landed. And the combat flyers were over there, dirtied down a bunch of them. That's got to be a combat flyer flying that airplane.
You got to realize that twin had a over 6 foot long wing on it. What was that wing? 79 inches or something like that?
76.
Yeah. Looked like a surfboard going overhead.
The one I like the best, John, is when I won there at Sepulveda Basin with it.
Oh, I guess
You
Whitey.
know? Well, I beat Whiteley, and I built Norm Whittle and Bill Biles. And
Yeah.
I bumped Norm back one by 1.5 points.
Oh, gee. That was when you borrowed my engine?
That's when I brought your motor, right?
Yeah.
Remember, the outboard engine on mine was really a sick one. And when you put yours in there, boy, the inboard and outboard, they beat it like there's one engine running out there.
Yeah. That was a beautiful flight.
And I thank you again for letting me borrow that.
Hey, you have done it for me.
Uh-oh. You know, you still had to take it out of your airplane. I had to change the venturis and spray bars were to the same one as the inboard.
Minor stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I say, you've done a lot for me over the years too. So
Well, I think the only problem you ever had is when you built your twin on my drafting table.
I did catch hell for that. I was
Oh,
told not
I-
to build it down there on his drafting table. He went up to have dinner, and I looked. And I framed that thing up while he's eating his dinner. You built that on my table. But there wasn't
Well-
anything on your table. I didn't.
it had a brand new top and ball bearing slide rule or parallel bar. You know, lucky you didn't damage it.
Unlike my luck on your shop floor.
I remember one time we were building an airplane together down there, and I yelled at you, "John, look behind you," and you had sat down on my wing, and it was up at about a 45-degree angle. And oops, didn't hurt it. It just kind of, you caught it by
Got
part of
it.
the one wing. Yeah.
We had
So-
some fun.
We've had some good times together.
Yeah. Look at this.
Sparky, what'd you do to our view here?
I put you in the movie theater.
Funny.
They let cats in there.
That's weird.
See here.
Hey, I have a stunt history question for you guys. You might be too young to know the answer, but um, I'm just recently involved in this, and I'm seeing that okay, here in the U.S. to compete in the expert level for the national championship, you have to build your own model, but that's not a requirement in other parts of the world. My question is, what came first?
AMA, us.
AMA came first, and then the rest of the world started flying more stunt and formed their organizations, and they just didn't have that rule right from the start.
That's right.
Right.
Okay. But we were doing this before they
Right.
were doing it.
And the difference between the way they fly their contests and we fly ours is we're flying national championship and for the Walker Cup, and the rules specifically say on the Walker Cup that you have to build your own model.
The difference between FAI and AMA is that we are a modeling event. FAI is a flying event.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, what I was curious about, and you guys have answered the question, is I wondered, okay, if it started in Europe or elsewhere in the world, without the builder of the model rule, and it was just a flying event, did we then we get started and say, no, we're not going to conform, we're going to do it differently. But it sounds like we were doing what we do first.
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Well, I was flying back in the 50s, and it's still, you had to be the builder of the model.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't have beginner, advanced, expert back then. You were either junior, senior, or open. And
Yep.
Right.
once you turned 18, you were open.
Yep.
What's
Back here, I flew open, even though I was still a senior.
when do you transition from junior to senior? What's that age cutoff?
16, I think.
I think isn't that 14?
It might be 14 to 18 or 14 to 16 or whatever.
It might be 16.
And then when do you move out of senior?
18.
18.
18. Okay.
Anybody know who won the Walker Cup? Obviously, it's Orestes.
Yes.
You know,
They should just put his name on that and send it home with them. Say, bring it back when we crown somebody else. But might as well live at your house. Quit toting it back and forth.
Yeah, I was glad to see Todd Lee was second.
yeah, that was cool.
That was.
That's a change up, right?
And that particular Mustang he's flying, the ribs were not all crushed.
Yep.
So he had a real airfoil on that airplane.
Well, the one he lost in the wind had a real airfoil. He was flying it really good, and it was I think it was the 40 Clover, and he lost it and it blew it in on the circle and exploded on impact. But Todd was flying extremely well, and I got to see his flight through Sparky's eyes. So
Yeah, I was just
Yes, I could.
making reference to when he was a senior and he's flying that old Mustang that the ribs are all broken inside his wing and they're just flat.
yeah, it was all collapsed.
Yeah.
Dennis is the last senior to win the Walker Cup.
Is
He
he?
was.
Dennis had a mission. When he comes back, ask him. He's the last senior with his name on the Walker Cup.
Wow. Didn't know that.
There's some that are coming up that might do that yet. Which one
The
of them?
Almost boys are pretty good.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I was thinking of. He was in the 550, 560 scoring, if I remember correctly.
See, we were talking out there at the field, and my idea is the best. We got to knock the halo off some of these guys. And how you do that is you go to Ball State University and get the geometry students and say, come out here and judge these flights for extra credit. And you'll have people say, we can't do that. They don't know. They know what a square and triangle looks like in a figure eight. But see, that knocks the halo off the pilot.
It's just too bad we don't still have the Navy NATS. See, that also knocked the halo off. Because those officers that were judging, they didn't know who was who.
Yeah, but all you had to do was paint your airplane in Navy colors, and
Well,
there
that's
you go.
true. If it had Navy and was blue and white, you got bonus points.
Yeah. Well, that's why George Aldrich had Navy on his Nobler.
Yep.
Well, the nice part about that, John, is they didn't know Paul Walker from David Fitzgerald or Brett Buck. Or
No,
they're just another person out there flying a pattern.
that's true.
Then there was talk today on Circle 2. Overheard we need to make a different class for these guys because it's always the same 5 guys.
Well, I tried a master class and that lasted about one time.
No, FCM had master class for years until all the, I was the first one to win expert at FCM and become the first master at FCM, and then everybody started filling the master class, and so we all became expert.
Yeah.
Whiteley and a bunch of them, but Golden State was talking about a master's class, and he turned around to me, Gordy, what do you think? I said, I don't want a master's class. He says, why not? He says, because when I beat you, I don't want you in a master's class when I'm flying expert. He says, what did you say? And I said, you heard me. He says, it'll never happen. Bob, it's not going to happen today, and it's not going to happen tomorrow, but I promise you it's going to happen.
Yeah, I was there.
And it finally happened.
Hey, Gordon, I got to ask you a question. I heard that Tom was
Gordon?
the only guy to fly a perfect pattern.
You did what?
I heard that Tom Warden was the only guy to fly a perfect pattern.
I don't know about that, but at the NATS, if he could have counted to 6, he would have won it. He still was in the top 5, but he couldn't count to 6 because he's out drinking all night. And come back, even with a hangover, that guy was an incredible flyer. Awesome pilot.
Getting back to the thing with knocking the halos off, you could have a challenge meet. You bring there, and these guys are going to fly, and so they can't fly their own airplane. They have to take somebody else's airplane.
Well, they did that in Australia.
Did they?
Yeah, Dave and a bunch of them, they all had to fly somebody else's airplane.
How'd that work out?
Well, he thought it was quite fun. I think Dave still won it, though.
Well, good pilot will, it's like Bart, he could fly a kitchen table with enough power.
Well, he used to.
Yeah.
He's got arthritis in his hands really bad now.
That happens.
John, I think that would be really interesting to see. But I'd have to say that if you did that, you're moving away from it being a modeling event.
Well, true. You would be. You're absolutely right.
What distinguishes us.
You're absolutely right.
You're making it more of a flying event.
I won't argue with you. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun and interesting, but it was just a thought I had as I was thinking through it.
Yeah, no, a challenge meet like that is not. If it's you flying somebody else's airplane, the modeling part has gone out. It's now a flying event solely. That doesn't mean the rest of the contest can't be a flying and modeling meet,
Yeah, right, right.
I
Better,
want to see him bring back 40 appearance points.
wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, you know, building the airplane should be at least one maneuver.
I would think so. I was
Not a
glad,
half maneuver.
I was happy to see that, that there was a monocoque airplane though that made the front row.
One of the
No,
Concours.
Won the
the one
concourse too.
yeah,
It was done extremely well.
Uncle Jimby's extremely gifted modeler.
yeah. Yeah, Dave had it in his car when he spent the night here on the way to the NATS.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Of course, I could only see a partial part of the wing because he had Brett Bucks. No, not Brett. Uh, News. Was it News? Yeah, he had
That's
his.
news.
He had 3 airplanes in there. Jim B's and is it Dennis News?
Yes.
Yeah, and then Dave's. And they were stacked in there like sardines. So,
Well,
and I just got an email from him today saying he'll be staying here on the 19th going home.
cool.
So it's kind of
I'll
fun
be here
having.
to the 14th.
Oh, I got a bone to pick with you
Who?
with Sparky.
But
Are you there, Sparky?
yeah, I'm here.
How come you didn't fly? That wasn't much rain, and you went and scratched.
I made a mistake, but by the time
Because
it came around, the weather had cleared up, but I had already scratched.
you jumped the gun, huh? Yeah, sorry to see that. But thank you for your videos.
I'm not gonna fly my airplanes in the rain. Yeah, no problem. Tail heavy.
Yeah, I've done that. It's kind of miserable.
Get this other internet connection going.
Well, I'll be back. I gotta go do a honeydew.
Who's the
Before we
little
get
girl there in your house? I saw her run in and run out.
That was my wife.
Huh?
That was Sandy.
No, this girl was only like 3.5, 4 feet tall.
This was a child.
Oh, that's one of the great grandkids.
Oh, okay.
I think she's about 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Whitney's baby.
Okay.
But I'll be back in there, guys.
All right.
Talking to you later.
I have to change internet connections. My connection's unstable.
Uh-oh.
So don't go nowhere, Alan. Okay, let's get on this one.
We all gonna drop out?
I don't know. Hope not. We're waiting on Dennis to get back. He's got 21 minutes. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Dennis?
Well, yep, that worked.
Dennis
Nope.
Holler's still trying to get in.
There's no internet secured. Yeah, we got internet. Okay. Yeah, I changed it to my hotspot. I guess people are coming in. Now the motel's filling up. They're all getting on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't have any bandwidth.
Oh, looks like Dennis is. Yeah, you know, it wasn't bad taking over when you left the last time, except I had some people wanted to share something, and I didn't know how to do that, how to
Yeah.
open it up.
Let me turn that on right now. There's a button at the bottom that says share. You click the up button and it say one participant can share at a time. And then you want to click the one that says multiple participants can share simultaneously. And that lets everybody share.
Oh, okay. All right. Should have done check that. We were talking about Edgewood Drive-In last week at the week early in there.
Yeah.
Brought back a lot of old memories. I used to go to that hamburger place that
In and out.
yeah, In and Out uh, after the or before the movie. Yeah,
Right. You take the hamburgers, you stop in the in and out and you get the hamburgers and go to the movie.
yeah, yeah.
I think them hamburgers were 17 cents.
And they were delicious.
Toasted bun, grilled onions. Great. Of course, I ate at the taco truck today, and it was just it. I like Mexican food anyway, but it was like home cooking. It wasn't like Mexican restaurant stuff. These guys were real Mexicans.
Yeah,
Matter of fact, they said, "Dame un dos taco de perro." That means two dog tacos. And the guy
yeah.
laughed because that's what they eat down there, dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
I was over at Melvin Schuette's little store there today, and one of the guys was talking to Melvin. He got some kind of nachos, and the guy said, "Yeah, those burritos were pretty good over there at the taco truck, but they gave me the shits."
We've got we've got a couple pretty decent ones here in this little town. I mean, he's been every day except Saturday and Sunday, every day on the same corner in the same empty lot for the last 7 years that I've seen him. And he's always got people there, so he must do pretty good. Make pretty good. I've had his tacos. They're more like Peruvian tacos. They got the double wrap on them,
Right.
but I always take those. There's so much stuff on them. I would take them, split it off, and make two tacos out of them.
I like they cook them corn tortillas in lard, and it has a special taste to it. It's just really good.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. We're not talking airplanes, guys. Sorry about that, but
All right.
remember back in the days when we were kids flying, we'd go to this In-N-Out Burger, which is pretty famous out here, and the one we're talking about by the drive-in movie was, come to find out from what Sparky told me, was the first one there ever was.
Yep. On Francisquito, and now they got a museum. That little building is a museum.
Really?
Yep. It's
They
on
have the whole building
Francisquito. Fransquito. Francisquito. Got to be able to spell that.
Did they have the whole building and did they build a building around it or what?
No. They built a fence around it, and you can look in there and pull it up on Google Earth.
I'll have to do that.
It's
Yeah.
right at the corner. You go under Interstate 10 on Francisquito. It'll be on the left-hand side as you go under the freeway, and on the left-hand side, and then do a street view. And it's a museum. They don't sell anything there. the world headquarters is down the street now.
Well, I'll tell you, their new the new style restaurants they have are really, really super. I mean, I used, you know, it didn't bother me in California. That little teeny cook shed they had there where they're cooking and stuff, and then you sat out. They had tables out under trees or whatever out there. You could go sit on and eat. You know, that was
Do you
kind of neat.
remember, do you
California
remember
was,
Bob's Big Boy?
yeah, I remember Bob's Big Boy
Well, in Ohio, they're Fresh's Big Boy. Still got the little statue
with the
with the hamburger holding, you know, up.
yeah.
But that was originally in California. That was in West Covina. Bob's Big Boy, first one.
First one I remember was in Pomona, up on
We
Foot
had,
Board.
there's Denny back. We had, I think, the second or third McDonald's on Hacienda Boulevard, which is Highway 39.
Well, that was the first one was down there.
But that was in Riverside area, the first one.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I started eating at McDonald's. They had just barely sold or 2 million.
They weren't even up to 1 million when they came to West Covina.
Yeah,
88,000, I think, sold.
they don't even put it on the sign anymore how many burgers they sold.
Yeah, right.
Oh, John, I'd have figured that you remember back when they had sold, 2,000 or, 24 worldwide. So
Probably, to be honest with you, you know,
For $1. Back then, for $1, you could get 3 hamburgers, an order fry, and a shake, and still have 2 dimes left over to ride the big slide.
that's right. The burgers were a dime a piece.
Yeah, I thought they were 15 cents, but
I remember them a dime a piece. You could get a bag for $1. You could get a bag with 10 hamburgers in it. Another $1, you could get a whole bunch of fries. I don't even remember how many. Those are the days.
I can remember as a kid, let's go to McDonald's, let's go to McDonald's. My dad would say, we're going to make hamburgers at home, but it's not the same, Dad.
And they didn't have the
afford to
plate.
go out and buy restaurant food, right? Yeah.
Well, they didn't have the playpen type things that they got now, you know, where you can go out and kids can play on the slide or whatever that is.
No, they didn't have that.
They didn't have that. The kids still wanted to go there. Remember when they started putting that park bench there with Ronald McDonald statue of him sitting in there with his arm out like that?
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Gordon
Did
was
you
going
ever
to tell
fly
you
at
that.
Whittier Narrows, John?
Oh yeah, I've flown there. Yeah.
Were you there when it was all grass?
No, I think the first time I flew there would be in the early to mid '90s. That's when
Well,
I
it used
moved
to be
back.
all grass. You go down Garvey, I think it's Garvey, or maybe it was Peck, but
It was in that area. Yeah.
you turn down into the park, and on the right-hand side towards the San Gabriel River, there was a fence.
Yep.
And so that, I think it's the Pasadena Freeway is on the left.
That's right. It's not a
410.
San Gabriel freeway, but
Yeah, San Gabriel Freeway, whatever. Looking towards the hills, the cemetery up there. But you go in there and you make a right, and on the left-hand side there was a tether car circle, and then you walk a little piece down and make another right, and there was the trash can that we used to burn in the morning because it was so cold. And then there was 6 circles out going towards the wash,
yeah.
grass. Gopher holes.
When I got there, same place, but when you went down to the fence and you made a right. There was the combat circles were on the grass on the far end of that because the RC had taken over for the edge before the wash, so they had takeoff strip there. They were to fly on the other side out over the wash. Once in a while, they'd overfly us, but and then as you came back from there, you hit the pavement, and there was like 3 circles on that, 4 counting the one that had the speed circle, and then there was one grass one that wasn't delineated, but it was still a grass. It was a kind of a practice circle, but the guys that flew RC helicopter had kind of claimed it. And I remember I was doing some practice flying there for during the contest. I was told I could fly there, and this really obnoxious RC helicopter pilot flew his helicopter right into the circle with me, and I had a very animated conversation with him afterwards. Told him I was going to stuff that sucker in a dark place, and I meant it, because he could have, if I'd have got my line taken and he shed a blade and that thing hit me, I'd be dead. Yeah.
Well, when I
Well,
flew
so-
there was no pavement and there was no speed cage. The only thing that was there was a tether car cage.
Yeah. I think Dick McCoy was kind of the ramrod on that tether car arrangement.
Yeah. he
Sure, it
ran
would
the-
have been, race cars were great ads for McCoy, racing engines. That's where all the hot development was at first, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, Gordon's going to tell you a story here.
Uh-oh.
Remember what it is, Gordy?
No, I have no idea.
Go on, you said, are you going to tell her? You already told it, but he didn't hear it about flying your twin to 95 NATS in the wind.
Oh, you can tell him. I told him.
Okay, he was
You tell
talking. Denny, you were talking about having a folding prop for wind flying, okay? And I was at the 95 NATS in Pasco, Washington, and the wind was blowing the whole darn NATS. And Gordy had his big Gemini twin. It's had a 78-inch wingspan, Gordy?
76.
76. It was big though, beautiful airplane. And he's flying, and he messed up on his fuel load, and one of his was the inboard engine, I think, quit first, and so he didn't get through the pattern. And then when the other engine quit, the wind was blowing, so he just started wind flying, did some loops, insides, outsides, figure eights, and they finally yelled at him, "Gordy, get off the circle!" And so he come by and he did a square loop with it and landed.
Brett Williams says howdy. He's getting ready to go flying with Gordy tomorrow.
All right.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna fly my big Tony tomorrow.
Is he?
Terrific. Look
Steve
at that. We got
Smith.
original Steve in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve.
Hello, I know,
You
Gordy
got that-
flew
you're
that. I know
muted. You
Gordy
gotta turn
flew a
your
lot.
mic
He
on,
flew that,
Steve.
must have flown that twin a lot, because whenever I see Gordy, you can see him, walking his knuckles dragging on the ground and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Steve.
Hey, you're still here, Sparky?
Yeah, I'm staying 5 more days.
All right. Oh, that's good. Denny went home.
I went home Wednesday night. Turned out I stayed about a week too long. So,
Oh, so you're not coming back?
no. Everything after the intermediate event on Sunday went straight downhill for me. So,
Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, we got a
well,
meeting
it
tomorrow
was,
of all
it
the,
had, due to happens. I wasn't as prepared, I guess, as I should have been. I had some weird things happen too. So,
yeah.
But I didn't ask you, how did your plane fly?
it was getting better. It still isn't right. I still got some issues with it, but it was getting better. And day 2, I had the motor shut off and I landed inverted.
Hey, I was telling them, Dennis, aren't you the last senior to win the Walker Cup?
Yes.
They didn't know that.
1972.
Good
think-
job.
There are people who have had their entire flying careers and never, in that amount of time. So
I think the Alamo,
I think Steve was trying to be nice, but he kind of got on a roll there. He was, we were talking about the stunt program during the Pampa meeting and stuff like that. And he introducing the people who had been on the committee, the judging committee, worked with it and talking about, the experienced judge of what everybody brought and said, and then there's Denny, who's been flying for years and years and years and years and years. So, and actually, that's not that big. I flew my first nationals 59 years ago. So
Yeah,
I guess that's a long time.
yeah, it
Wait,
is.
years and years and years.
I mean, if I get into triple digits, I'll catch up with Gordy, but what the heck? So
What year was that you flew your first
65.
net? 65.
65, Willow Grove. Back to NATS was the first contest I ever entered. So I learned how to fly inverted 2 weeks before the NATS. So
Wow.
that was with my ringmaster, but of course I had to have a NATS airplane, so I finished off my Buster. So
Only the best.
the rest, as they say, is history,
Hey,
or maybe it's
Steve, what's
mystery. I don't know.
going on
Now we know
tomorrow?
the rest of the story.
Tomorrow is pretty much nothing. There's a meeting at 10 o'clock of the worker bees, but there's nothing else, nothing official going on. Sunday is just check-in, and it's like all day,
Mm-hmm.
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. or something like that.
When's opening ceremony?
Monday at 4 p.m. And it's
So-
down on the grass circles.
It's doing what?
It's down on the grass circles, site 5.
Really?
Where's Site 5?
Site
Where
5
they
is
fly
the grass
classic and
circles.
stuff. Where they fly classic and old
Yep.
time and stuff. Where you flew NOS 30.
Yeah. Are we allowed to fly tomorrow?
As far as I know, yeah,
See if anybody throws you off.
right.
If they do, say something in a foreign language. That's all you got to do.
Yeah,
Even if you
Sparky
make up
can
the
speak
language on the
Spanish.
spot.
And what's the Hindi?
Hindi.
Can't you speak
Oh.
Hindi?
I am standing beside myself. Temcho, Majama.
No, the last day, or actually waiting for the Pampa meeting there. I wasn't on the last day. It was on Tuesday evening. Jim Hoffman and I were over at the museum. Just a combination of killing time and chilling out, because it's been hot all day. And we ran into the Mongolian F2B team.
Wow.
Bunch of nice people. Their interpreters were looked like about a 15-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl. They do English. All the adults were kind of passing and hand waving and whatever else, and ask them a question, and they'd call the kids over and stuff. But I don't know if you remember way back when the last time Howard came back from Europe. Remember, he was in the airport, him and his wife, and they were talking, and he was there. He said he was there with the Mongolians. So I thought that was kind of a cute little circle around. But they got the one picture in the museum, the work trailer, the work hangar at the NATS, and it's at the 1969 NATS. And I pointed at the picture. You see that person right there? That's me. And I pointed at the things. This is from 1969. The kid goes, "Oh, that's when my daddy was born."
Thank
He
you.
introduced me to his daddy. So, oh well.
Well, Denny, I'm gonna sign off and I'm gonna hand it off to you.
To me,
And so give me a second, guys, till I get signed off here.
alrighty.
All you guys watching on YouTube want to appreciate the support and the help and the likes. I don't know how many likes we got on this, but we got 25 viewers. If you want to continue watching this, go to Stunt Hangar and at the bench and click on the link, and then you can come in. But otherwise, we're gonna close the YouTube down. The after party will stay going with Dennis as the host. So we'll see you this weekend. I don't know how much filming I'll do starting. I'll start Monday, I guess, when the opening ceremony goes. But stay tuned for that. So thanks for watching. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
Denny in charge. What could go wrong? Oh,
Okay,
Anyhow.
the YouTube stream is over. And
yeah. Before
Dennis,
you go, Sparky, I want to show you my